I think we kind of like tiptoed our way into like topic number 2 here, right? Or step number 2, which is limit your expenses.
Mm.
Right. So I guess from that perspective, like, what are you currently doing to limit your own expenses? So you talked about, trying to stay at home more often, have friends over instead of going out. Are there any other major expenses that you found ways to like limit?
I shifted to Subang, so that's already. So I used to.
So for those who don't know, I guess give a quick primer as to what that meant.
So I lived in Singapore before, and I'm in Subang now. So you get the idea, right? So prices are a lot more affordable. I'm making adjustments to my life. So my pay remains, or my pay has gone up a little bit because I took on another job, and my expenses have came down, right? Because I shifted to Subang, and it's a great place. It's within the suburb. Everything here is very affordable relative to where I came from, right? So when I tell people in KL that I think Subang is very affordable, they give me that big question mark. Are you sure it's affordable? And I was like, of course, because from where I come from, that is where it is, right? But if you're local, I'm not very sure how do we like adjust expenses other than maybe like meal prep, do more cooking. That's what I do. At least these are the things I do. I do more cooking, get my friends over to hang out. We just make use of public spaces. I think that is one thing that Singapore has really well, which is a lot of good public spaces. Here in KL, it's a little bit tougher to find, but there are still a few good spots, parks, and yeah, just kind of use public spaces. I think those places are great in general. Yeah, that's kind of where I am. I don't really have a lot of advice for locals yet, but in due time, yes.
Yeah. So one thing I've found super beneficial for me is just kind of understanding like my own lifestyle. So I've been here for 2.5 years, and then every time I talk to a local, they're like, "Oh, do you drive?" I'm like, "No, I don't drive," and like sometimes they're like caught off guard, right? I don't know what it is about Malaysians who like and cars and driving and all that. But for me, like I don't want to get stuck in this traffic. I deliberately chose a place next to an LRT station so that I don't ever need to like worry about transportation, right? And when I do need it, I just use Grab. And I have a good friend of mine. And he's a local. He subscribed to the idea of like buying a car as soon as he graduated, because he justified it of like, oh, I needed to go like to KLCC to work and all that. And 3 years later, 4 years later now, he's like, that was probably the worst financial decision ever. Like, that car just is such a huge drain on my income, right? And like he wants to travel a lot more. He wants to use that money to invest, but a good chunk of his money goes to servicing the car every single time.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one example. Another example is, knowing what my needs are from a technological perspective, right? So for me, like I don't really play games on my phone. And when I travel, like I don't take that many photos. So I never felt the need to buy like the latest phones, right?
Oh yes, latest phones.
And I know people who love their phones, or love the latest technology, or whatever device, but because of that, like 3-4 months of their income goes towards buying that one phone, right? Whereas for me, it's like, no, I'd rather use that to travel, right? Because that one iPhone, I can literally go on like a 1-2 week vacation somewhere, right? And actually, no, that one iPhone, I could probably go to like New Zealand for like a good 3 weeks. Right, flight included and everything.
I think if you for that one iPhone, you could like buy 5 Apple shares or something, and the Apple will pay you back in due time.
There you go. Instant win.
I fully agree.
Yeah, and so it's just, I guess, understanding that piece of it, and for me, I guess the overarching theme there is what exactly is important to you for your lifestyle, right? What exactly is it that you want to do in your life? Do you want that freedom and flexibility? Do you want to travel more? Are you looking for for to buy that first house or to get married or to have kids, or are you looking to, stay up to date, or is staying up to date with like the latest technology, like really important to you, right? Because if that is, then by all means, go for it, right? But know that there's a trade-off there, right?
Yeah, fair. I want to add on a little bit about the car, right? So I don't drive and I don't have a car. And I don't know how to drive. I think that is one thing that you need to know, right? So coming from Singapore, okay, I won't say most people, but many people don't drive, right? It's most expensive city in the world to own a car, and public transport is amazing, right? So, but when I look at the car, I think a lot of my friends, they have this idea that, once you have it, you use it more, right? So it's a kind of resource kind of mindset. If you don't have it, you probably don't use it, or you won't even think about it, and not as much. But the moment you buy it, you have this fascination of using it more, and you want to like reap more value out of it. But in actuality, you actually end up spending more, splurging more, and doing all these excess. So over here in KL, I live on the train also. So exactly the same thing. When my friends in KL, they ask me, "Hey, then how do you go around?" I was like, "I just take a train lah." Then everyone give me the, "Huh? You take the train?" I'm like, "Yeah, have you taken the LRT recently?" It's pretty good, man. Then I actually got some of them to take the LRT, and they were like, "Hey, actually, it's pretty good now." So I think a lot of them have been stuck in the like 10 over years schooling days kind of time. Mm-hmm. They have not moved on from there. So if you actually go and give it a shot, take a look at the trains, I think they're pretty good. And a lot of the condominiums around the train stations are also pretty good. So yeah, you can save on that. And what's the worst? You take a Grab to an LRT stop, and you take the train, and then from the train station you just take a Grab to wherever you want to go. It's still a lot more affordable. Right, most of the time your lifestyle will revolve around work, home. That's just kind of the reality for most people. So you don't actually need a vehicle to do the work home part, right? You can just take the train. I think it's fair, right? We can work around it, of course, case by case. But yeah, I think that's kind of where it is.
Perfect. So yeah, for anyone who's out there, have we missed anything, like a major expense that you've also noticed that people have that they should be aware of? Let us know.
Oh yeah, I want to add something. So I think a lot of times people talk about expenses. It's always about cutting expenses, right?
Yeah.
But I want to encourage people to spend wisely, spend smartly, and it's not all about not spending, right? A lot of times you realize that spending smart, spending wise, actually has more benefit than not spending money, right? So just look at how companies, they invest in a certain thing, they invest in a certain vertical, new business, they acquire something. So it's the same thing for all of us. When we look at ourselves, it's like, what will benefit us, right? So if we love to read books, then why not buy a little bit more books, right? Go visit Book Access. They have tons of good books at a very affordable price. They're essentially a Daiso of books, right? Discount outlet, whatever that doesn't sell at Kinokuniya, whatever that doesn't sell in Popular, they get sold bulk to Book Access, and then they sell it to us at a very cheap price. Right? Yeah. So if you feel that you love to read and you love to learn, then buy some books, invest more in books, right? Spend more time doing it, because you're actually getting more benefit out of reading and spending that kind of stuff, right? And if you love to socialize, you want to hang out with friends, do it by all means, right? Spend a bit more socializing, meet more people, go for networking events, and expand your network, expand your worldview, and talk to more people and learn from that. So what I do is I will factor a splurging budget. I think I did talk about it a few days ago. I think that is something that we need to do to kind of feed our own fallacies, feed our own desires, and all these things that we love for and we crave for, and just have a budget for it. So it makes saving and cutting expenses in other verticals much easier, right? Don't deprive ourselves to a level where it's like, then yeah, I think that's not cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, this is CS from More Money Malaysia. We are a platform dedicated to helping Malaysians like you make smart financial decisions. And the way we do that is through providing you with actionable advice, such as the video you just saw, right? But we're not here just to become your intellectual entertainment. We really do want to see you succeed, because we want to see you live that ultimate life that you've always dreamt of, right? And in order for us to do that, what we've decided to do is we want to help make it easier for you by providing different types of rewards throughout the months. So make sure you check out the description below, click on that link and see what type of reward you might be able to qualify for by taking action right now. And if you have any other questions about any of this, feel free to contact us wherever you find us. Take care.